Welcome to Nature's Glory Cabin Off-Road. Today we're doing a third of the full trail series featuring Wayne Benson, the easy way. It's not really easy, but it's easier in this direction than it is in the other. A lot of information in the video. Please like, share, subscribe, comment. We'd love to hear everybody's views. Okay, today we're doing another in the full trail series. We're on 36 West right now. We're going to turn right onto Benson Lane, which is the Wayne Benson Trail we're going to go on. We got a little bit of blacktop here, 100 yards or so, and then we will be on the trail. Alright, we are starting the Wayne Benson Trail here. It's pretty gravel on this end, very easy. We're going to get into 4 low once we crest this hill up here. It's very smooth and a good road right here. So we get up here a little further. I'm going to get into 4 low and get out and unhook my sway bar. I've already aired down this morning, so the air down has already been done. Be sure when you air down that you don't go very fast on the highway, because that sidewall will build up too much heat. You don't want that to happen. The rule of thumb is don't go any faster than twice what the tire pressure is. If you're 16 pounds, don't go over about 32, 35, maybe 40. But don't go driving highway speeds. Air it down a lot. We'll get to the meat of the trail shortly. Looks like somebody's been doing a little bit of gravels, a little bit of grounding has been going on here. A little smoother than usual. There are houses, a couple of houses back here, and some private property, so you'll need to make sure you stay out of the private property. If you've seen one of my earlier videos right along through here, I got into a yellow jacket nest. Remember, you're in the woods. There's things out here that don't necessarily like you. Alright, we're going to stop right here and switch into 4 low. These older ones like to have a little bit of roll into them when you pull them down into low range. Swayloc on this Jeep. I just flip a lever, and as it gets to a position, it'll unhook the sway bar. Again, this is a full trail series, so I will not be speeding up most of it. The only thing I plan to speed up is a little bit of blacktop at the beginning. The rest of this is going to be real time. This shouldn't take us half hour, 45 minutes. We'll check time when we get to the end. It's right now a quarter till 2. And going in this direction, you got to be aware that there are turns you're going to have to make to stay on the trail. Trust me, we made a wrong turn once in a driving thunderstorm. So right ahead of us here, you see there's private property. We're going to turn left down the trail, and you can notice a big difference as soon as we turn. In this direction, Wayne Benson is not as hard. However, it is not an easy trail by far. You'll need, in this direction, at least a 32, 33-inch tire and a lift, a small lift. Because there's some deep ruts down here that you'll really need it. I've had people go through here stock, and they did not do very well. Probably won't have body damage, but I can't promise you won't. Because that deep rut, you'll see it when we get there, it is pretty deep. It's kind of probably going to be, here's a little rock drop off we're going to go over. Ease over it. You can go to the left if you want to go off camera a little more. And right down here is another set of rock we're going to go down. We're going to stop here for a minute and set up for pictures and video. And hopefully that'll make the trail video as well. We'll see how that turns out. come to an obstacle you've never done before, good idea to get out and walk it. I walk them many times when I haven't been on one for a while. Now, rocks don't change much, but mud and ruts do. So ease down, 4 low obviously, ease down. And let the Jeep do all the work. Low range, don't use your brakes obviously, and then you get right down the outside. This is another one of those areas you make sure you stay on the trail, and to the right is the right direction here, the left is not. And we continue on down the trail after that little rocks we went down. Again, just take your time. If you got to get out and need a spotter, be sure you have a spotter if you need one. Now we're going to get up here at another spot. We got a little bit of a climb here, and there's another wow to the left. You don't want to go on that one. That is the wrong way. You want to go to the right again. It's got a marker on it, makes it look like it's the right place, the Sheltoe trace, but you don't want to go there. All right, as I said, you want to make sure when you negotiate these, you got to take your time and crawl up them nice and easily. Again, that to the left behind my wife there is not the trail. It's got a Sheltoe trace walking trail on the tree. The actual Wayne Benson trail is to the right over here. All right, we've come past a little Y in the trail to stay on the trail, and we'll continue on down. Nothing has been very hard so far. I'm sure you are looking forward to seeing what's going to be the little harder part. But we'll get to that in a minute. But for now, you can just enjoy the scenery and all of the rock shelves and stuff up higher. You can't see them as much during the summertime because the trees are pretty thick. Up on a couple little rock drop-offs up here. They're not very big, but if you have low clearance, it's something you need to pay attention to. Again, as I always say, put your tire on the biggest rock so you carry over anything if it has an actual something in the trail. And here's a little drop-off here. This is all sandstone rock. Your tires ought to grab it really well. Here. If you go further to the right, you'll get over a little easier with less clearance, and then turn. If you have a lot of clearance like I do, I could have went over it a little better, just straight over. It would have been fine, but I demonstrated that for somebody that has lesser clearance. There are other videos out there of Wayne Benson. You might want to go back and look at those. Those are cut up a little differently for expediency when we're riding with groups and things. This one's going to be just what we do, the trail. had a little bit of rain here, a little water sitting. Again, most of these are not much trouble. It's good solid bottoms in this part of the country. As evidenced by the rocks that we're always driving over. Beware though, if you notice all the tree limbs and all running down the side, as I say, you probably will get some Kentucky pinstripes. Some of them may be worse than others. There's a little low clearance right there. Got another rock drop off here. And you got in a turn. Might feel a little weird in a off camber. Just ease up to it like all the rest of them. And ease down it. And let the back end ease over it too. Some of these pretty good drop offs, you could bang your rear bumper. And if you got a hitch, well, that's what it's for. Again, this is considered the easy way. We're going downhill all the way. The other way coming up the hill, the ruts are quite a bit more difficult to negotiate, and you probably need at least one traction device. That means a limited slip or a locker. These trails aren't used as often over here in Menifee County, so there can be very well, trees could be down, limbs could be down because they don't get used as much. Just the way it is. We've cut a lot of trees out of here this year. Getting ready to come up on some ruts. Oh, actually, that's a washout from the trees from before. So I think we're going to stop here a second and get up. No, we're going to go on. We'll set up for some pictures and video in another spot. That's a new washout right there. Probably the last time we were up here when we had that heavy rain. I know the camera hides the ability of this back and forth, so if you want to watch the hood, you can see how much attitude I'm giving into these little ruts and places. Again, that new rut back there was new. Again, things can happen. So the last time you were on a trail doesn't mean this time it'll be the same. And they don't get better, they usually just get worse. So you need to be prepared for that. These are unmaintained county roads, part of the Daniel Boone Backcountry Byway. The only maintenance they get is whatever folks like us or the Byway organization does. We're kind of peripheral related to them, so we help out as much as we can. We continue down here, we walk down and check it out. All this wash on the right is new. You can see it looks like mud, but it's not really. It's sand off that sandstone. And this new rut forming along this right side here in this direction, at the right side, is starting to be going to be something eventually if it keeps up. Because right down here, where these mess of limbs are, that's actually a fairly deep rut. Now we're not going to drive in it, we're going to straddle it, go over top of it. Put tires on both sides of the rut. That's always the easiest way if you can. Sometimes you don't have that choice, but today we do, so we'll go right over it. While she's walking down there to get set up for pictures and stuff, I'm going to go ahead and go through this. Again, it's washed out quite a bit. Brought some more rocks to the top. It was muddier before. When it was wet anyway. I mean, today it's pretty dry. This big tree here, if somebody has a big rooftop tent, you might have a problem. So be aware of that. If you're coming through here with a big tall vehicle, a rooftop tent, stuff like that, you may be in trouble. Now here is another rut off to the left. You have no choice but to go in it, and there's a limb up there, so I'm gonna go check out that limb. I may have to do something with it. And this right here in front of me has washed out a whole lot more too. Got a pretty steep drop off there. I'm gonna try to ride along if I can. My mud tires on top before it drops me in, which is getting ready to. Once you're in, nothing you can do about it. You go where the trail takes you sometimes. I had to break a limb off here because it was sticking out too far. It was going to hit my Jeep. So got that out of the way. Now we're getting down to the serious ruts. I'm going to stop here for a second, take my video camera down, and get ready to do this. Alright, I'm going to try to stay up on top up here and out of that rut. Because especially if it's wet, you want to try to do this to stay out of that rut. Because it's getting deeper all the time. When you come to this spot, you want to go to the right, not the left. There's a big tall rut in the middle. If you even got a little bit of clearance problems, it's going to hang you up and you'll have to winch. So the right side, and put your left tire on that rut to carry yourself through it. Now at the end, you're going to pop out of it anyway. There's no choice. This little spot here has got about a 3-foot drop to it, and if you don't have some ground, and the rock has a tail to it, like a little rock tail, so if you don't have clearance, you're going to drag here, and there's no way around this. It's going to suck you right in it. I've seen people try to go around the top up there. When it's dry, you might be able to do it, but if it pulls you into it, that's just where you're going to go. And you can see we're way off camber here, probably 25 plus degrees. Woo. All right, that's the worst of it. Now we got one more down here. I'm gonna try to drive over it. Let's see if I can go on the left here and avoid this one. You know, straddle it, so to speak. This is something somebody could do to get over it too. So I got right over that. Yeah, it worked out real well. So that's something you can do too there. Now we're going to go down this rocky hill. You have to climb this when you come in the other direction. Again, another one of the difficult obstacles. I'm going to try to ride along the top edge of this if it'll let me as far as I can before it sucks me down into it. That's also what you need to do to make it easiest coming up it, but there it did, pull me right in. It's about as far as I usually get. And it's got several little drop-offs in it. There's a bigger one coming up and a curve. And it's it's washed out quite a bit since the last time we were here. So again, trail conditions can change from, this has just been a month ago we were here last. And this washout stuff has washed out even more. some things here in the middle, some logs and such. You may have to move some of these things if you have lesser clearance than we do. But again, definitely need a lift and some tires on this one. I say recommend a 33 minimum. Quite frankly, 35 even. We're on 35s here with the 5-inch lift. Shouldn't need any traction devices in this direction because it's all downhill. You don't want to use them if you don't need them. Once we get to the bottom down here, we're pretty much finished. There's a little water crossing and one more rut. It's a deep rut as well. So a big log laying there on the side, we cut that out last year. It was leaning across. People with us had a rooftop tent, couldn't get under it, so we had to cut it out. There's a newly exposed rock. It's washed out around it, so again, not very hard though. Shouldn't be any trouble for anybody with a reasonable off-road vehicle. You're starting to get a little harder and you start doing stuff over here. And this particular trail, you really need to have some clearance to do some of this stuff. All right, now you see this big mess in front of us. This came down during Hyline, I believe it was, or the ice storm back last, somewhere between October and January. And we had to cut this out on this left side. We had 5 of us working and 4 chainsaws and cut this out because it was impassable, all that mess you see. And this is the final obstacle here on this trail. I'm gonna try to go over just the easy way. This is why knowing where your tires are makes a difference. So I really don't have to go and try to get in that rut. I can ride across it as long as you know where your tires are. If you don't know where your tires are, you need your spotter or you need to learn it. I'm gonna come right on off of it, and I didn't even get in the rut. And this tree right here in front of us was another one we cut out, one of our folks that were with us on that same day. So we were busy that day. And once you get through here, the rest of it's pretty smooth sailing. There is a couple little creek crossings and nothing really very hard from here on out. Not as easy as the very beginning, but not as hard as what we did in the middle. So you need to learn tire placement, know where your tires are at all times. That's what allows me to do these without spotting. Plus we've done these trails quite a bit, so familiarity makes a big difference too. Some of this stuff I wouldn't try by yourself. Matter of fact, we haven't had this Jeep very long, and there's one trail I wanted to do today, but we couldn't get anybody to go with us, and I didn't feel like taking a chance when I've got some things on this Jeep that haven't been tested yet. You should be aware of that yourself. Make sure you can trust your vehicle. If you get back in here, there is no cell service, and you may have to walk out for a mile or more to get to a road, and the roads on this end are not very highly populated either, so need to be aware of that. Need to be able to self-recover. You should always have a winch and tow points. You got to remember, if you don't have a winch, you can't get yourself out. The tow strap doesn't do you any good. Ain't nobody going to tow you if they're not here. So you can winch to a tree. We got lots of trees, so just be prepared like that. Again, like all of the normal rules, tread lightly, pack out what you pack in, try to pick up things that you see other people have left. Try to leave it as good or better than you left it. Don't be back here spinning your tires on all this mud and creating worse ruts. If you have to do that, pull your winch out and get yourself out of the situation. If you're spinning your tires, you're wasting your time. Down here a little bit further, and I will get it out of 4 low and put it back in 2 high when I get to a nice level spot, and hook my sway bar back up, because we'll be back on blacktop in just a minute. I'll go ahead and just do that real quick. too high, sway bar will connect itself up when it lines up. Move the steering wheel back and forth a little bit, that usually helps snap in. That even works on the automatic ones, on the newer ones. You kind of help it connect or disconnect, moving the steering wheel back and forth. When you get out here to Blacktop, it's not called Wayne Benson or Benson Lane on this end. It's called something else. It says it is Richardson Branch Road. Now to the left right there is the entrance to, that's Rainy Ratliff. That takes you to Johnson Branch. And then we're on Ratliff Road right here. That takes us all the way out to 1274. All right, here we are at the end of Ratliff. Now I cut a lot of that out. That was just one lane country road. You can meet cars on it, so you got to be really careful and go slow through that. It's a couple of miles worth at least. Now we're going to turn right here on 1274, which is also Old Beaver Creek Road, and it's going to take you back to Frenchburg. And I hope everybody's enjoyed this. Be sure to like, subscribe, share if you want to. Thanks for watching, and we'll have more of these as we get a chance to do them.